watch it all. It's all good. You watch it all.
It's not.
Come on,
well,
it's a rewatch.
Good is a relative term in this guy. But...
It's not a partial watch. It's a rewatch.
Well, let's get to our death count here. Gonna be pretty quick this week, guys. How many people do you think died in this movie?
Well, not Michael Caine, not Mario Van Peebles.
Yeah.
Yes, we're going with the home video cut.
I got 1 and 1 shark.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay, it's actually 2. It's
okay.
1 shark. Correct, everyone.
Oh, the banana boat.
Yeah, the banana boat. So Sean Brody dies at the beginning.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
And then the mom dies at the end of the banana boat. And I gotta say, that was a pretty good death.
That's amazing. Yeah, that was an amazing death. Yeah, I can't believe we forgot about it. Yes, the banana boat is a great death.
And you know what we didn't get in this movie? Stock footage of a real shark, Brandon, because you know that really annoyed me when we our first conversation. But anyway, so yes, that's our death count. 1 shark, 2 people. Which brings our grand total for the Jaws franchise to 14 people, 5 sharks, 1 killer whale, and 1 dog.
You know what we did get? We didn't get stock footage. What we did get is that epic scene of the shark going through that boat underwater.
I mean, that wasn't bad.
Oh, yeah.
I actually thought that was
terrible.
Cool. Oh, okay.
I thought that was terrible.
Well, you know what, Brandon? I don't care.
I wound up talking to the girls about Finding Nemo in that scene, where I said, well, you know why the shark is named Bruce in Finding Nemo? And my 12-year-old said, yes, you've told us. It's because it was from Jaws. It's like, okay. Well, I just want to make sure.
Yes, Dad, we get it.
Let's rate this thing. John, how many dorsal fins out of 5 are you going to give Jaws the Revenge?
1 dorsal fin.
This is a 2 for me. I mean, like, it's not a great movie. I definitely like it better than the third, but it's still just a 2-star film for me. Like, I think the last time I watched it, I gave it 2.5, and this time I'm like, yeah, no, it's just a 2. So
yeah, I'm going to give this one 1.5 dorsal fins. It's better than Jaws 3. It's still a bad movie, but there is more here to it, and I did really enjoy our conversation about it. So finally, the question we always ask. I think we all know the answer. Is this franchise fatigue? John, what do you think? We still got some more blood left in this shark, or is it done?
Kill it with fire. Nuke it from orbit. Whatever you have to do, end it now.
How about you, Brandon?
No, I can't wait for Jaws 19.
Yes, definitely, I agree. This franchise is fatigued, and let's put a mast in it. It's done. Hey, John, before we sign off here, you live in Florida. Did you go to Universal Studios and go on the Jaws ride when I was there?
I have not been on the Jaws ride. That was, I believe, replaced by the Fast and Furious ride.
It was replaced by something. I think they built Harry Potter Land on top of it. That was my understanding.
No, you're right. Yeah. Yes, Fast and Furious replaced the Earthquake ride. I did not go on the Jaws ride for however many years it was there because I moved to Florida after it was gone.
Ah, okay.
So unfortunately, I missed that. But
it was great. I rode it once when I was a kid. It was pretty good. Animatronic sharks. It was amazing. That's why I don't go back to Universal Studios, because Jaws, E.T., King Kong, Back to the Future, Star Trek, Terminator 2 3D, all of these rides, right, from like all the movies of my childhood and that I enjoyed, they've rebranded them with other stuff, and I'm just, it's just not the same. So,
well, at least they have the Simpsons Land. That's a positive.
Well, anyway,
John, where can people find you when you're not fighting with your wife about taking out the garbage?
Wow. Am I ever not fighting with my wife about taking out the garbage? You can find me as Kessel Junkie. I lurk on Twitter. You can find me on Letterboxd. You can find me on KesselJunkie.com on occasion. And you can find me on the Nerd Party, co-hosting Aggressive Negotiations, a Star Wars podcast, and on Retro Perspective, a podcast crawling week by week and inch by inch through the releases of 1994.
Zach, where can people find you when you're not stabbing me in the heart with your mast?
Well, you can find me personally on Twitter at MoronZach. That's MoreOnCach. I'm also the host of my own podcast, Always Welcome to Smallville, where we talk about each and every episode of that Young Superman show. You can find us on Twitter at Always Smallville with 1S. And I'm also a host of Standard Orbit, Trek FM's original series podcast. We talk about all things old and new Captain Kirk and the Enterprise. You can find us on Twitter at TrekFM. And Brandon, when you aren't delivering laundry in your plane, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter. I'm not very active there right now, but my handle there is at Brandon Matella. You can find me finishing up my run on Warp 5 over on Trek FM with my friend Patrick. That's all about Star Trek Enterprise. And I'm over on the Fandom Podcast Network and in our own independent feed with Good Evening, an Alfred Hitchcock podcast. Well, that is all we've got for you today. If you want to find the network on Twitter, you can find us at UFP Earth. You could send us an email, contact@ufp.earth. And I'd like to thank our associate producers of the network, actually, Tony Robinson and Ken Tripp, as well as Zach Tripp for creating the wonderful music for our show. And that's all we've got for you for the Jaws series. Next week we'll be doing our recap, but after that we will be venturing into the ever-elusive Judgment Day with the Terminator franchise building up to Terminator Dark Fate coming out in just a couple of short months. We are very excited. I'm looking forward to it a whole heck of a lot. We got a lot of great guests lined up to talk about the Terminator movies. So just to give you a heads up on that one, if you guys want to send in some feedback, please feel free to send us an MP3 or an email, and we will definitely read it on our feedback episode. And just so you know, if you have feedback for a Jaws, we've recorded all these before we've even released the first one because of our vacation schedule, so we won't be able to get it in time for our Jaws recap. But if you do want to send us some feedback on the Jaws movies, we will definitely include it in our Terminator feedback one, because you can comment at any time on any of our previous franchises, and we will include it in the next recap episode. But until next time, we're going to need a bigger mic.
All together now. Show me the way to go home.
I'm
tired and I want to go to bed.
Boom, boom,
I had a little drink about an hour ago, and it went straight to my head.
It's terrible.
This has been a production of MTMR Media Works.